friends, and welcome to Mariposa Homeschool. Today is a video we're going to talk about how to homeschool legally in Ohio. And I'm just going to talk about Ohio today because that's the state that I live in, and that is the state I know the most about. There is a website called hslda.org, and that website actually has every state listed with all the rules and regulations that you need to follow to homeschool your child legally in the US. Ohio is actually a moderate regulated state, which means there are states that have more regulations than us, and there are states that have less regulations than us. There's two ways that you can homeschool your child in Ohio, but the option I'm going to talk about today is homeschooling under the Ohio homeschooling statute. It is the most popular way to homeschool your child, and it's also the easiest. Now, you have to submit an annual notice of intent to homeschool. Basically, you're notifying the superintendent of your school district of your child's information, such as their name, address, and how old they are. And you're notifying them to let them know that they will not be attending public school in their area. They do need basic information from your child as well as you, and you do have to um, notify them that you have a high school diploma or GED, or your child is being homeschooled under somebody who does. You're also notifying them that you intend to homeschool for 900 hours. And you're also giving assurance that you're going to homeschool with the subjects that are required to teach in Ohio. So those are just some of the things that you have to require, that you're required to include in your notice of intent. And your notice of intent, um, it doesn't have to be extremely detailed and difficult to fill out. There is a website called ohiohomeschoolingparents.com, and that website will actually give you a form version of the notice of intent. You fill that out, and you can send it in just as it is. There's even instructions on there on exactly how to fill out the notice of intent. If it's your first time and the form is intimidating and you have additional questions, there is, a way, an option on there for you to fill it out, how to fill it out exactly. The next thing is you have to have your child assessed annually. So at the end of each school year, you will have your child assessed either in the form of a standardized test, or you would submit a portfolio to a certified teacher in Ohio, a teacher who is certified to teach in the state of Ohio. You would submit that portfolio to, and then they would give you a letter to submit with your notice of intent that says your child is completing work to the best of their ability. And that's it. HSLDA does encourage parents to keep certain records, such as attendance records and samples of work. For me and my children, we do not keep every form of work that we complete. There's just not enough space in our home to keep everything that we work on in the school year. So, what we do is we get a 1-inch binder, and right now it's just a 1-inch binder because my children are still in elementary school. Actually, I have one in preschool and one headed into 5th grade. And so, for that reason, we just get a 1-inch binder. I make a cover similar to this every year. Depending on what my children are interested in, I make them a cover with their name and that school year on there. I get dividers, and typically the dividers that I like are the ones that have the pockets because it's easiest to keep their work in there. So all their work is held in that pocket. Subjects can change, and of course, depending on what you guys work on and spend a lot of time on and plan on keeping throughout the year, that's how I determine my subjects. This past year, my son was in fourth grade, and we kept work in math, science, spelling, and vocabulary, language arts and reading, and his Bible and copy work. And the items that I decided to keep were mostly from work from the beginning of the year, work from the middle of the year, and then work from the end of the year, just to show progress that, this is where he started and this is where he ended. We also decided to keep anything that he worked really hard on, any projects or things that took him a while to complete. We ended up keeping those as well. Any art projects that he really enjoyed doing or making, we decided to keep those as well. And this is it. This is all that we end up keeping for that 1 year. And this is just a copy of his work. Now, as far as keeping attendance goes, the state that I live in doesn't require me to keep attendance, and I mostly don't. I have a planner, like a life planner. Basically, I put everything from the kids' extracurriculars to my work schedule and co op and church stuff. Like basically everything goes into one planner. And on that day that we end up doing school, as the kids are doing some of their subjects or independent work that they don't need me for, I'll just write on the planner that we did school, and that was it. So I don't keep track of hour per hour how many hours that we're doing school. So um, I believe that is everything. It's not too difficult to homeschool in Ohio. There's not a ton of stuff that you have to keep or do every year, thankfully. I'm very thankful for that reason. It just makes it that much easier for me every year to make sure we are doing everything correctly so we can homeschool legally. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I am interested on what state do you guys live in and how easy or difficult is it for you to homeschool in your state? And don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Bye.